modified hip 90-90 for the lead leg in external rotation, pails and rails. First, getting squared up into your 90-degree angles. Let both knees fall the same direction. Get the 90-degree bend between your two thighs at the groin, and then 90 at the front knee, 90 at the back knee. The modification for this is simply if you can't sit upright without your lead leg coming way off the ground, or you're just simply not able to sit upright for whatever reason that is. You can walk this hand further away to take some of the pressure off the hips. You can even drop down to your forearm. This is the position I'm going to demonstrate the modification or the modified hip 90-90 from. The emphasis is your lead leg in external rotation. Right now, this lead leg is externally rotated. You may feel tension developing in the floor side of your lead leg hip. All the stuff that's touching the floor might feel like it's pulling tight. If that's where you're at, that's where you hang out, and that's where you perform these pails and rails. If you're doing a long duration hold prior to these, pause the video here, hold for the duration that you need, and then press play again when you're ready, because I'm going to roll right into pails and rails right now. So to make sure you're pinned in the position, you can take your top hand, just make sure you're kind of bracing that knee towards the floor. Pails contractions is when you flex all of the muscles that are being stretched. Think about trying to drive your whole lower leg, foot and ankle hard into the floor. As you do that, you'll notice if I do that, if you push down, your knee may want to come up a little bit, which is why it's nice to have that pinned down with your hand. So think starting off light, we'll gradually ramp up, pushing that lower leg straight down into the floor with our pails. So start off light on a scale of 1 to 10 to 1, bring it up to a 2, up to a 3, up to a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, that's where I usually get shaky, 9, pushing down as hard as you can, trying to leave a dent in the floor at that lower leg. You should also feel like your trunk is really braced hard in this position. Keep pushing, don't back off. It's tough, don't back off, keep pushing. Now, gradually relax to 0. Stay in your stretch. Remember when we relax that we turn contractions down to 0, we never just turn them off. Stay in the position where you feel your stretch. Then we go right into the rails contractions, where we're trying to contract all the stuff on the opposite side of the joint. To do rails, simply do the opposite of what you just tried to do. You were pushing into the floor. Now you're trying to get all this stuff to lift away from the floor. Essentially, the motion you're trying to produce is this motion, but you're trying to use the muscles to make it happen. So you're still braced. Gradually start to try to lift that foot and ankle away from the floor. I can get a little bit of a lift. If you can't get any at all, that's fine. Really, you should feel all the muscles kind of deep in this hip area working really hard. Ramp it up to a 2, up to a 3, to a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. As hard as you can, as hard as you can. Keep holding, keep holding, keep holding, and then gradually relax to 0. If you're cycling through pails and rails contractions more than once, make sure that you stay in your stretch between those. You never back out of the stretch till you're totally done with your hold and all your pails and rails cycles.